Okay, so like I said, this is theme 4. This is EL112, and this is Dr. Samih Abdel Jalil, and I am based in Jeddah, as you guys are all aware. I have 4 classes a week. We started, yesterday, and we finished off theme 3, and we're starting theme 4 today. And theme 4, like I said, is going to continue with us until the end of this week. So it's today, tomorrow, and the day after, inshallah. Yes, I'm talking, Yareem. Do you have any issues with? Am I loud enough? If I'm loud enough, please type one. Type one if you guys all can hear me. If you can hear me, please type one before I proceed. Yes, Shuru can, Sumaya can, and everybody else. Let me just say that if you have a problem with me being not very audible and everybody else can hear me well, so probably you have a problem with your headset, and in this case you are invited to go out and come back again, and hopefully your problem will be fixed. Anyway, this is theme 4, and as you can see, the title of theme 4 is the media. And under the title, you have a number of sub uh, topics. You'll have the media and the audience, you will have uses of media, reading the media, and finally, social media. It's a very interesting topic, it's very relatable, and it's something that we do on a regular, or not even on not on a daily. I wouldn't say on a daily basis. It's on an hourly basis. The likelihood is that you're hearing me, you're listening to the class from your mobile phone, and this is media. The likelihood that you are, while listening to me, you're checking up the dictionary for a challenging word, and this is also media, right? So media is all over the place, it is everywhere, and this is actually what we are in for today. We're going to explore media, we're going to explore its different outlets, its different areas of interest, and we're going to talk about the relationship that media has with its audience. And of course, by audience, we mean people like you and me, right? We are media. We're audience. We're members of the audience. And there is obviously more to the meaning of the word audience than just um, people watching a movie or be in the theater, right? So there is obviously more to that. Audience now means the viewers who watch TV, the internet users, um, and a lot more. Let's move. What's the problem? Well, we haven't written anything yet, yeah, Hamza. Hamza is saying that أحد يطلع عنده الكلام مقلوب بالعربي وإيش الحل. I haven't noticed that because we haven't typed yet. Reem is saying perhaps because you are accessing the class from the mobile. This was yesterday, and this was last week. Perhaps we'll have occasions where we can go over what we have done, yeah, Thuraya, I don't have to worry. And like I always say, it's not only me who teaches, you have other people. We have a whole list of teachers, and they are scattered all over the week. If you miss a class with me, you may want to attend with some other teachers. Like I said, we have it's a whole list. It's a big list of teachers. Anyway, let's focus on what we have today, which is theme 4. Again, we're talking about media. Let me just remind you. So what we have here, we're going to start with the listening part, the media and the audience, and obviously there is a relationship between the media and the audience. It's a relationship of interaction, right? So activating ideas, this is actually what we normally do when we start. We have a number of ideas, and those ideas trigger other ideas. So what do all the items on page 107 have in common? If you go to 107, which is obviously the opposite page, you're going to have a number of icons and symbols, and I am sure that you're too familiar with them because they are all have something in common, which is what is it that they have in common? Um, you may want to type. So what is it that they have in common? I'm asking you guys. Let me just, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Thoraya is saying that they are all media. Can you explain, yeah, Thoraya, what do you mean by the fact that they are all media? Media in what sense? People are typing, that's why I'm not talking unless you're asking. Um, yeah, Ahmed Sameh is saying that these are icons that we use to exchange information. Absolutely, that's correct. Some of them are used, for us to connect with each other. This is yani partly true, Sumaya, thank you. Thoraya is saying that we contact with each other and the world using them. Yes. Can we name them? Yeah, let me ask you this. Can we name them? Can you name? Yeah, communication. Ahmed Sameh is saying that we communicate with them. We use them as communication methods and means. That's correct. I mean, name some of them. We have there are so many. Just name or label a few of them. Yeah. Again, I'm waiting for people to name some of them. Hmm. Texting. Yeah. So we have a symbol or an icon for texting. Twitter, the Twitter sign. That's correct. I'm hopeful that you can see them. Yeah, Google sign. Whether you're talking about emails and yes, Hotmail, absolutely email. Start what? We have started already, Hamza. What are you asking about? Unless you cannot hear us. And if you cannot hear us, please go out and come back. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Okay. So how many items can you name from the illustration on page 107? And this is what we did. The illustrations are non-text. Remember, we spoke yesterday about text, the words, the letters, and the phrases in the sentence that you see on a printed page. Otherwise, this is called non-text. If you have icons, if you have graphs and illustrations, these are non-text. And as you can see, on 107 you have non-text, right? Where you have illustrations and pictures of the different media symbols and signs. Like we said, you have the @ sign of the email, you have a camera sign, you have an email sign, right? You have SMS, you have the different symbols that you use, whether you were having a heart or the like or the dislike symbols. These are all symbols that we use in media and social media. Will you look at the information on the right from a university faculty and check your answers? Okay, so what's a faculty? Give me a synonym for the word faculty. Faculty is like what? Faculty is like what? When I say the Faculty of Business Administration, the Faculty of Computer Science, when I say the Faculty of English Language and Literature. So yeah, excellent. Muhammad Al-Omari is saying it's kulliya or college. So college and faculty are synonyms, right? Absolutely, Ahmad. Thank you so much. Okay, so how many faculties do we have in our university, the Arab Open University? Okay, we have 3 faculties. No, only 3. Unless you're considering, we also have the Faculty of Education, yes. This makes them 4. Can you name them? Can you name them? Can we say them? So we have the faculty, or at least people can tell me about the faculties that they belong to. So what faculty are you in? So IT or computer studies, education. I don't think you are education, yeah, Ahmed. Information technology, it's the same thing, business, and English literature. Okay, so 4 different, no, this is a track. Network security is a track or a pathway. Yeah, Thoraya, it's part of the larger Faculty of Computer Studies. Okay, thank you so much for the tip. Let's move on. So, Department of Media Studies. So, department in a faculty is when you have, for example, like Thoraya was saying, she was talking about, I don't know whether this was Soraya or somebody else, network security. This can be a department under computer studies. So here you have Department of Media Studies. This is perhaps a small department under perhaps media, perhaps something bigger than that. So what we have, Department of Media Studies, where they study media. Okay, and you have media and audience. A question that I didn't ask you about was the associations of the word media. Associations means the words that and the concepts and the ideas that a word may trigger at the back of your mind. When I mention a word, it triggers ideas, it prompts ideas in at the back of your mind. Let's when I say media, what comes to your mind? What immediately comes to your mind? Yeah, Ahmed Sameh, TV, radio, mobile, phone. What's personal computer? What's PS? Yeah, Dania. What do you mean by PS? Okay. PlayStation. Yeah, okay. PlayStation is also media. Newspapers. Yeah. Okay, good. Nobody spoke about social media, right? Don't you think that social media is part of the media? So obviously, I wasn't asking about examples. I was asking about the ideas and the concepts that a word may trigger. Okay? So when I say media, what ideas and what concepts come to your mind? Media. I may say influence, the fact that they influence people, and the power and the control that they may maintain over people. The fact that we're so addicted to media nowadays, right? These are ideas that the word media may trigger at the back of your mind. We're going to elaborate on that in a few minutes from now. Yeah, like Ahmed is saying, persuasion, the fact that you get persuaded, you get addicted, you get influenced by whatever the media is presenting, good or bad, right? Rumors that media is now circulating about the different viruses and stuff like that, right? So the bottom line would be that media is such a big deal, that media is something big, okay? And it shouldn't be taken very lightly because its influence is so big. Hamza is saying in the last time we have TV and radio, but now we have programs of social media. That's correct, yeah, Hamza. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so Department of Media Studies, Media and Audience. Okay, what is the relationship between media such as television, Facebook, and iTunes and its audience? And this lecture, obviously we are in for a lecture. We look at three key questions about the relationship. Let me just we have somebody insists. No, I have to. Let me just switch this off so that. Wait. Yes, let me switch the other one too. Okay. So again, what is the relationship between media such as television, Facebook, and iTunes and its audience? In this lecture, we are in for a lecture. We look at three key questions about the relationship. So what are the three questions? It remains to be seen. We're going to listen and see how it goes. So before the lecture, read, and this is obviously the one who is giving the lecture. He is giving details. He's saying, please read McQuail Dennis, 2010, and the title of the book is Mass Communication Theory, an Introduction, and it was published in London by Sage Publications, and the pages are 420 up to 430, 430. As you can see, we have a reference to the book that the lecturer is basing his lecture on, and he's giving us details about the source. This is called a source. So McQuail Dennis, 2010, Mass Communication Theory, an Introduction. This is obviously a source. And here, as you can see, the writer of the book is trying to teach you how to cite sources. It's very important that when you build your argument in an essay, when you write a TMA and you're using outside sources, it's very important that you acknowledge your sources. Acknowledging sources means that you mention the book, the writer and the author of the book, and where it was published, and the name of the publisher, and possibly the pages that you have drawn on or you have used. This is academic studies, and academic studying is about referencing, is about using sources, and is about acknowledging the sources that you are using. Anyway, so who is the main source for the information in this lecture? This is what I was referring to in less than a minute ago. Who is the main source? I'm asking you, Department of Social Media, of Media Studies, Media. So who is the main source for the information in this lecture? Can you answer this question? Are we getting the answer? Are we getting Dennis Mackwell? So Dennis Mackwell is our source here, and the name of his book is Mass Communication Theory, an Introduction. Okay. Do you guys have the book handy with you? Do you have the book? Okay. So I don't think we will be able to listen to the audios. What I normally do in cases like these is that I refer to the students to the end of the book, and I ask them to read the transcripts. Perhaps you can do that on your own. We're going to skip this part, and perhaps when you read them, when you get an idea about them, we can go back to them. If you go to the course videos, you're going to see you can listen to all the audios over there. Like I said, the course videos are very exhaustive in how they handle the material, and by exhaustive I mean that not a single page is skipped. Not a single page is not the one who is recording the videos over there has not skipped one single item. So I am inviting you to kind of go there before and after the class. You go there before the class in order to get prepared for what you are in for, and you go there after in order to consolidate and reinforce whatever information and whatever material we cover together in class. Anyway, so if we move further down, we're going to go to the vocabulary box. Can you see the vocabulary box where we have words like affect, audience, comparison, concern, consumer, critically, identity, influence, interaction, media, obvious, and relaxation. So I would like you to go through these words and see if you have any issues or any challenges with any of them. If you have challenges, I can always help. So again, affect, audience, comparison, concern, consumer, critically, identify, influence, interaction, media, obvious, and relaxation. Any issues with any of them? Concern. Yeah, Lena is asking about the meaning of the word concern. What's a synonym for that? Give me a synonym for concern, everyone. If you have concerns, concerns are, yes, like Hamza is saying, worries. So if you have a concern, it means that you are worried about something. Okay, you have questions about something. You're not sure about something if you have concerns. Okay, any other words on the list that you guys need my help with? Yeah, ONVM. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, okay. Right. Let's go beyond that. Okay. Any other words that you guys need help with? Obviously, no. Okay, let's move on. So what we have here, it's reviewing vocabulary. Okay, so match the words with each definition below. So obviously you have the definitions and you need the concept or the words. So I'll give you a minute to match that definition with the concept or the word. You have words like advice, affect, audience, identity, influence, interaction, media, and obvious. Okay, these are obviously the words, and under them you have their definitions, and I'll give you a minute for that. Go ahead. Okay, so it's a minute that I'm giving you, and the minute is not up yet. Okay, so let's match. Okay, let me take them one at a time. So, okay, so people watching something, not sport, but that would be audience. Yeah, that's correct. Uh, so effect on someone or something. This is obviously influence. Um, Television, radio, the internet, and so on. This is obviously media. Clear, easy to see and understand. This is obvious. Change someone or something. This is affect. Helpful suggestions. So helpful suggestions would be advice. Self would be identity. Conversation, emailing. So this is interaction. And finally, you have this is actually the end of it. So conversation and emailing would be interaction. So are we getting them right? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Okay, so let's move on where this time around we're going to talk about restatement. So what do I mean by restatement? So obviously it's re, which is a prefix, and statement, which is a word. Statement means that you give information. You state something, it means that you mention it, whether you're mentioning it verbally or in writing. So restatement means that you're mentioning the same thing but in a different way, in other words. Why? Why do you think we need to sometimes restate things. So people restate things in order to perhaps emphasize something, stress something. Perhaps they want to um, kind of impress on people that what they are saying is very important, right? So they think that people wouldn't understand what they said the first time, and that's why they repeat stuff in a different way, so in a simpler way. Normally, when people restate things, they use simpler words and simpler vocab items and simpler structures. So again, like Shuru is saying, it's to make things clear, yes. And like Muhammad al-Umari is saying, it's to clarify ideas and make them even clearer. That's absolutely correct. Okay, so how do I know that you are restating? And before, now obviously you're not going to say the something and then right after you're going to restate. You have to have something in the middle that indicates to your reader or to your hearer that you are restating. You're going to use certain expressions and phrases that indicate to people that you are restating. What are those words that you're going to use so that I get to know that you are rephrasing or restating from your experience? What do people use or say? Um, yeah, perhaps. Okay. In other, like Ahmed, in other words, to put it another way, right? Uh, put another way. Uh, yeah, what I mean is, yeah, absolutely, Ahmed is getting them all right. So, in other words, what I mean is, what I'm trying to say is, right? In other words, like I said, to put it another way, put another way. So the list is big, obviously, and these are some examples. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm reading, and this is 109. Speakers, they don't have to be speakers, by the way, they can be also writers. When it comes to restatement, if you're either a speaker or a writer, you're using almost the same phrases. So speakers often say information or ideas again in a different way. This is what is meant by restatement. And this gives you two chances to understand, okay? And here are three common ways to introduce a restatement. You use in other words, you use to put it another way, or what I mean is. Okay, like I said, the list is bigger than that. So notice the stressed word in each phrase. The speaker's voice rises to the end of the phrase, then pauses before continuing with the statement. Again, you can notice that if it's a speaker, if it's a writer, the phrase in other words, or to put it another way, or what I mean is, would do the trick. Okay, so again, it's 109 and it's C, identifying a new skill. So what is it that he wants us to say or to do? He wants you, he says, find the three restatement phrases in the jumble of words in the box. Can you see the box? You have words like another, I, in, is, it, mean, other, put, to, way, what, and words. Okay, he wants you to come up with three restatement phrases. Can you do that? Again, this is 109, top of the page. Yeah, I think you can. Adil, you're here twice. Adil Sultan, good morning. We have Adil Sultan and we have Adil Sultan too. Yeah, um, to put it in another words, that would be to put it another way. To put it another way or in other words. Okay, so to put it another way or um, in other words. These are two phrases. And the third one would be what? What would be the third one? Yeah, okay. So what I mean, yeah, that's interesting. In other words, what I mean is, yeah, that's good. Thank you, Thuraya and Al Omari and Ahmed Sameh. Thank you so much. Okay. So D is about restating. We'll look at some sentences using the words in exercise A. Restate each idea using the definitions in exercise A. So if you're going to restate these statements, when I say, for example, people use the media for entertainment, you're going to say, in other words, something for fun or to relax, for example, right? When I say the media has a worldwide audience, okay? In other words, or what I mean is, right? And then you come up with people watching something worldwide. The media influences people, and you're going to say, to put it another way, right? And so on and so forth. Let's move on to the vocab box where we have words like advice, plug, entertainment, fantastic, probable, social media, tabloid, and worldwide. I would like you to check these words and see if you need help with any of them. So again, it's advice, plug, entertainment, fantastic, probable, social media, tabloid, and worldwide. Yeah, Ahmed Sameh is asking about the word tabloid, yes, and Thuraya too. Tabloid um, is this category or section or group of magazines that focus on celebrity scandals. You know what scandals are, especially the scandals of celebrities who got married to whom without the knowledge of his or her husband, who uh, got caught in a compromising situation with I don't know whom. Yeah, it can be local or global, international, yes, Umayya. So tabloid magazines and newspapers are after sensationalism. They are sensational. Sometimes they are not very honest and truthful, and they make a career out of scandalizing celebrities, getting to know, infringing on their privacy and private life. This is what we mean by tabloid. Any other words that you guys would like me to help with? So let's proceed. So what we have here, it's 110 and 111. It's replacement subject at. Sometimes You have sentences starting with the pronoun "et." When I say it's known that, it's probable that, it's possible that, it's obvious that, it's fantastic that. Okay, these are all sentences that start with "et." And "et" here is dummy. We call it dummy. Dummy means that uh, the word "et" in and of itself does not have or does not carry meaning. It doesn't refer back to something. If you're familiar with pronouns, pronouns are meant to refer back to something. When I say, for example, I met Ali the other day, full stop. He promised to come to my house. So he here is a pronoun and it refers back to Ali, the guy that I met, right? But when I say it's fantastic or it's beautiful or it's important, it here does not refer back to a pronoun. Okay? So why do we have this structure? Um, this structure is meant to indicate to the hearer or the one who is listening to me, or even if I'm using it in writing, it indicates shifts of attitude at one point, a level of certainty that I may have, and depending on what phrase I'm using with it, the meaning and the attitude and the level of certainty is going to shift and change. When I say, for example, it's known that, obviously, it's known that is obviously different from it's probable that, and it's obviously different from it's possible that. Okay, so as you can see, we have different levels of certainty. If I say it's known that, it indicates that my level of certainty is very big. I am perhaps 90% sure of something. When I say it's probable that, so my level of certainty goes down and it becomes like 50 or 40%. When I say it's possible that, it's the same level of certainty. It means that I'm not too sure of what I'm saying, right? So again, sentences sometimes begin with "et" as the subject of a sentence with new information. But the word has no real meaning in this case. It does not replace an earlier noun. So sometimes the phrase with "it" shows the certainty of the statement in the opinion of the speaker. Again, uh, um, the phrase that comes after shows you how certain the speaker is. So it's known that tabloid newspapers have a powerful influence. It's known, it means that my level of certainty is very high. When I say it's probable that most people check out companies on the internet, and the level goes down. It's possible that you won't get the answer, so the level of certainty goes even uh, um, down. So the choice of the adjective, whether it's known or probable or possible or obvious or important or fantastic, shows how certain I am of the statement. So you're moving between 100% if you say it's known or it's obvious, right? And 50% if you're saying it's probably, and 10% if you're saying that it's possible, right? Okay. This is as far as it, if you're talking about levels of certainty. Okay, let's practice that. Let's go to G on 110, talking about certainty. So how do you feel about each statement in exercise F? Look at the statements below and introduce each statement to show your view of the certainty. So the first sentence is oil will run out in about 100 years. Okay, so we're going to use it and see what phrase to use. If you're too sure of it, you're going to say it's known that, right? If you are moving between 50 and 10%, you're going to use it's probable that, it's possible that. Can we use that? Yeah. So it depends on how you feel about an issue, right? You yourself determine the level of certainty. Can we do that? I think we can. Yalla, go ahead. So we're going to start with A and we're going to end with H. Okay, I'll give you perhaps 3 minutes and we are on our way. Okay. So let's start with oil will run, and you guys give me your input. Oil will run out in about 100 years. Yalla, go ahead. So Sumaya is saying it is possible that. Uh, who else? It's I need it. I need no. We're not using expected, yeah, Ahmed. It is probable. It is possible, right? If you want to use expected, you're going to say it is. Um, it is expected. Okay, it's probable. It's probable. Okay, let's move to the second one. Okay, what's the second one? The second one is nowadays that the earth goes around the sun. Nowadays that the earth goes around. It is known, absolutely. Okay, this is a fact. It is known that. Yeah. Let's move to the next one. Let's move. The population will reach 9 billion by 2050. I'm not sure. I don't have statistics ready. So it's probable, not probably. It's probable, it's possible. Yeah. Okay. So fresh water supply will be a big problem in the future. It's possible. It's probable. It's known. Yeah, it depends on how you feel about it. Right? And then you have the Earth is more than 4 billion years old. This is obviously a fact, right? So it's known. Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. Global temperatures will continue to rise. What do you think? Global temperatures, it's probable, it's possible. Yeah, unless they do something about it, right? Yes. But that's why it's not a fact. Because if they decide, I mean, the big countries, if the big industrial countries, if they start to kind of set limits to their carbon emissions and the fumes that their factories give into the air, there is this possibility that we don't get where we're headed for, obviously. Okay, so let's move on. So scientists can reverse global warming. This is quite related to the previous one. Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. We will solve the problem of aging. We'll solve the problem of aging. Is it possible? Is it probable? Is it known? No, it's not known. It's not something that we know for a fact. Yeah, it's possible and probable that they work on scientific research to this effect. Absolutely. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So what do we have here? We're going to talk about the replacement of the subject, the replacement subject at, but this time around, it's not about the level of certainty that you are communicating to your reader or to your listener. This time around, it's the level your attitude towards something. It shows the attitude of the speaker to a factual statement. So somebody is providing a fact and you are reacting to it using it. So sometimes you say it's obvious that, which is it indicates your attitude. It's important that, and it's fantastic that. Okay? So the choice of the adjective, whether it's obvious, important, or fantastic, uh, shows how you feel about this fact. Okay? And we have examples. Let's go through them. So it's obvious that we all encounter media all the time. It's important that we teach children to recognize the power of media. And it's fantastic that Twitter and blogging have given the audience a voice. Again, they show your attitude to a fact. Okay, so what we have here is study each statement and then listen to people reacting to the story. We don't have to listen. We can come up with our own reactions using it's obvious, it's incredible, it's awful, it's funny. So when I say lightning travels from the ground to the sky, so what are you going to use with that? Lightning travels from the ground to the sky. Are you going to say it is amazing, or it's terrible, or it's ridiculous, it's strange, it's incredible, it's wonderful? And then you move on. When I say malaria kills 1 million people every year, are you going to say it's obvious, or it's awful, or it's what do you think? When you say that some people believe in ghosts, how do you feel about that? What is your attitude? Are you going to say it's ridiculous if you don't believe in ghosts? It's funny, right? It's incredible because we're in the 21st century, perhaps. Footballers get so much money. Isn't that incredible? It's incredible. It's sometimes it's ridiculous if you get to know how much footballers make, and if you compare them to scientists, for example, and how much scientists make. And in a crisis, an emergency like the one that we have, it's not footballers that we need, it's scientists, and they are poorly paid, as you can see and feel. So you're getting the idea? I think you're getting the idea of using it, and then you use the phrase, and depending on the adjective, people get your feeling and your attitude towards something, right? Absolutely. Let's move on. And then we're moving to the speaking part and its uses of media. And let me ask you flat out, what are some of the uses of media? So what is it that media is used for? I'm asking you. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm waiting for answers. I wouldn't call them answers. I would say contributions. Remember contribution from last time. Input, if you like. Yes. Yes. Media can, yeah, different uses of media. One of them would be education, like Dania Gabir is saying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what do you mean by knowledge? You mean knowledge sharing, Ashuru? Yeah, perhaps. Communication, absolutely. Entertainment, yeah, very good. So these are some some of the uses of media. We'll talk more about that. Search for information, like Ahmed is saying. Okay, good. Okay, okay. So study the assignment on the right. So Faculty of Sociology, and by now you know what faculty means. Do we have a Faculty of Sociology at AOU? I'm asking you. No, yeah, we don't have a Faculty of Sociology. Okay, good. And there is an assignment here. And what do audiences do with media? This is obviously okay. I think I shared with you at one point how people approach assignments. First of all, what do we call an assignment at AOU? Are we using the word assignment? Of course we use it, but we use another word or another acronym. Remember acronym last? Excellent. Like Thoraya is saying TMA. TMA is an acronym. Do you know what TMA stands for? Do you know what it stands for? Where T stands for what, M stands for what, and A stands for what? No, I wouldn't say, Sultan, MTA, because MTA is not an assignment, it's an exam, right? Let's focus on TMA. You got it right the first time. So let's focus on TMA, and I'm asking you about what the acronym stands for. So T stands for tutor, and M stands for marked, and A stands for assignment. So tutor marked assignments. Okay, but this is an acronym. Um, so you're getting the idea. So what we're doing is whenever there is an assignment, we need to be able to kind of read it correctly so that we can get it right from the first time. Get it right means that you answer it. If you understand it well, the likelihood that you are going to answer it correctly is very high. But if you get confused, if you don't have like a plan as how you answer TMAs, if you don't have a template or a mental template or a mental format as how you answer assignments. So sometimes you get it right and some other times you don't get it right. So do we have, and my question is, um, yeah, but the idea was not about acronyms, yeah, Adil. It was about assignments. And I was asking about a word that we're using in AOU, and lots of people says TMA. That's why I was limiting the discussion to TMAs. Okay. Um, so again, how do people approach TMAs and assignments? Is there a way as how you can approach a TMA if every time you meet one? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Any TMA is divided into two parts. Any assignment that you have is divided into two parts. The first part is called the prompt. We call it a prompt, where the one who is writing the assignment is providing you with a scenario, is providing you with a background, if you like. And this background has key concepts that you need to be careful about, because the whole discussion is going to be about the concepts that he's going to provide in the background. This is part one. And then you move on to the second part, which is the set of guidelines that he is providing you with so that you can answer correctly. And those guidelines are normally in the form of command sentences. Imperative sentence. Imperative means discuss, write, choose, justify. As you can see, all of them are instructions given to you, right? So whenever you have an assignment, you have to approach it this way. First of all, you read the TMA prompt, which is the background or the scenario that he is providing. And you need to underline the key concepts, the key ideas that he is presenting. And then you move on to the second part where the questions are, where the set of instructions is. Do this, write, make a presentation, discuss, okay, illustrate, and so on and so forth. Okay, can we apply this? Yeah, let's go to the assignment and see. Where is the assignment? Yes, it's it. So, Faculty of Sociology. What do audiences do with media? This is obviously, this is the first part. This is the background, and he's presenting it in a question format. Okay, what are the key concepts when I say what do audiences do with media? What are the key words in this question? The key words are audiences and media, right? And then you move on to the second part where the guidelines and the questions are. Okay, like, so what do audiences do with media? And then you have like a side note where he says television, quiz, shows. So what are the key concepts here? You have audience, you have media, you have television, you have quiz, shows. And all of them trigger ideas at the back of your mind. And then we move to the second part where you have research the work of Katz et al. Like research. Research means what? It's a command. It's an order. Research means do research. And what is it that you're going to research on? On the work. The work of whom? Of Katz et al. Okay, this guy, obviously, whenever, yeah, let me, whenever you have it all means that you have more than one author. If you have a book authored by more than one writer, you mention the name of the first author, which is Katz here, and then you say it all. It all because perhaps we have another author or a third author. Sometimes you have up to 3 authors, right? So you mention the first one and then you say it all. It's like saying if you have a company and this company is owned by a number of people, you normally have the one with the most shares and let's say سامح, and then it all وشركاء for example. Okay, so again The second part of the assignment is where the guidelines and the questions are. So research the work of Katz et al. 1973 on what did his work is or their work is on what? On television quiz shows. Okay, give a short presentation at the next tutorial. Let me ask you a number of questions here. Okay, so this is obviously the assignment. You're getting the idea, correct? You're not confused, are you? I'm hopeful that you're not confused. Okay, so you have seen the assignment and you have it in front of your eyes, right? Good. So let's dissect it. Let's analyze the assignment one more time. So we're going to start with what? We're going to start with the what we call the prompt. The prompt here takes the form of a question. Can you see the question, right? Right? Right or wrong? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. I can give you a 5 minute break if you guys are. Would you like to take a 5 minute break? And in the meantime, I can, if you don't have the book, you can go and get it. But this is the speaking part, and it's on. We're doing 112, page 112. Faculty of Sociology. What do audiences do with media? The speaking part. Are you getting the idea? So I'll give you a 5 minute break and make it short and sweet. It's only for 5 minutes, everyone. Okay? Okay. We're meeting in 5 minutes, everyone. Hello, I am back. Are you guys back? Yeah. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, I was talking about approaching the TMAs, how to approach them and assignments. And I said that we normally have two parts to the assignment. You have the prompt part, and then you move on to the second part, which is the set of instructions that we gave you so that you can answer correctly. And there is no way you can start with the second part and leave out the first part, obviously, because the first part is meant to provide you with the scenario. It is meant to provide you with the right and the necessary background upon which you're going to build your whole argument. And what did you notice about the assignment? The first part was a question, more or less, right? And we have, how many pieces of instruction did we have? Remember? It was research. Yeah, two. The first one is you were required to do research, right? And the second one is what? Remember? Are you going to write? Is he asking you to write something? Yeah. He's asking you to give. Give what? Give a piece of writing, for example? No. You're asked to give a presentation, which means that you're going to write something or you're going to say something. Yeah, absolutely. So obviously that's going to be different. Writing stuff is different from saying them, right? Okay, good. Okay. Every time we have an assignment, then we're going to have lots of them as we proceed. I mean, in the book, we have to dissect and analyze them this way, right? And this, by the way, applies to all the assignments that you take across the departments, whether you're business, IT, or English literature. Okay, let's move somewhere else. Okay, let's talk about the key concepts before I leave this part. I'm sorry. What were the key concepts? Like we said, audience, media, questions. You know what a question is, right? Have you ever been part of a quiz show? Have you ever participated in a quiz show? No. None of us here. We're 12 now. So none of us participated in a quiz show. I mean, give me examples of quiz shows or popular quiz shows. Can you think of an example? Yeah, absolutely. من سيربح المليون. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Okay. So you've never been part of that or any other show for that matter. I think also Mustafa Al-Agha has a quiz show, right? You have never contributed to any of these shows. Normally they come to you to your mobile. They send you messages and they say, okay, answer these. They normally give you a question and they give you choices and then you move on to the next level or say, or this is what they say normally, right? Have you ever been part of that? Yes, حروف وألوف, yes, in Ramadan or during Ramadan, yes. Yeah, interesting. Okay, good. Yeah, Thoraya wants to say something, but that's why I'm waiting for her. She's typing perhaps a show that she participates in. Yes, but I never. So yeah, Thoraya did participate in one of the shows, but she she said that she never continued. I mean, perhaps she got her answers wrong, but that's why she had to start all over again, which she didn't. Okay. Do you think these kinds of shows are a waste of time and money, especially some of the programs where they ask you to send SMS messages and they charge you for that? Yeah, Ahmed is saying that maybe it's a waste of time and money. Sumaya says that yes, it is a waste of time and money. Yeah. And it also raises your expectations, right? And then you don't get selected, so you get frustrated. It happens with me, by the way. I participated in one of the shows, and it's interesting, you know. Ah, yes. Okay. Anyway, interesting. Um, and this is a very interesting trivia about quiz shows. They say, for example, and they said this is a side note. Did you know that the quiz show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is shown in more than 80 countries? Why is it so popular? According to Katz et al. In their 1973 article, there are four main reasons. The first reason is self-rating, which means comparing yourself to the people on the shows. For example, some people laugh at the mistakes of the contestants, among others. So as you can see, it's shown in 80 countries and perhaps more, and so popular. And there are four main reasons according to a research conducted by Katz and all, right? Okay. Um, so one of the reasons would be self-rating, the fact that you compare yourself to others. Okay, and then you move on to the vocabulary box at the bottom where you have words. This is 112 again. This is page 112. You have the words appeal, contestant, educational, et al, excitement, love, popular, quiz, and self-rating. Okay, I would like you to go through them and see if you need help with any of them. Go ahead. Do you have any challenges with any of them? No challenges with any of them? You know what an appeal is? What's an appeal? Excuse me. No, not really. Yeah, this is the university meaning. Obviously, Sumaya, you're referring to the university appeal. If you're asking for a reconsideration of your mark, for example, you think that you should you deserve more, you ask for. No, it's not the meaning that we have here. Ahmed, yeah, is getting it right. Ahmed Samih is saying attraction. Yes. Okay. So attraction is very close. No. Hamza is saying resumption, which has nothing to do at all with appeal. So appeal, when something appeals to you, it means that you like it. So Yeah, yeah, you're very close. Like Hamza is saying, it's the temptation. When something has this power over you, you find it interesting. Um, no, it's a noun, not a verb. Yeah, Ahmed, yeah, Muhammad. Okay. So when I talk about the appeal of quiz shows, yeah, I mean the appeal here means why they are so popular. We're talking about the appeal means that lots of people like them. Okay. Okay. Fine. Other than that, you don't have any issues with any of the other words, which is good news, obviously. Okay. Let's move on to 113, where it's all pronunciation and intonation. Let's move to the last part on page 113, where you have words like article, you have catharsis, compare, cooperate, environmental, escapism, insight, reinforcement, and winner. Okay, I guess you would, um, you would need to go to the videos and do the listening parts. I mean, there is a great deal of audio material that you don't want to miss. Okay, so again, you have the word article, catharsis, compare, cooperate, environmental, escapism, insight, reinforcement, and winner. فif you need help with any of them, by the way, these are all, or for the most part, are psychological terms. Terms that are taken from the realm and from the field of psychology. So I'm ready to help. If you need any help with any of them, just go ahead and ask. So catharsis, yeah, catharsis is taken from the word of drama. You're familiar with drama, poetry, and these are all literature stuff. So it's taken from the word of drama and stage and theater. You normally have the characters on stage, okay, and you go to a play in order to watch it on stage, and then you see people, kind of blaming each other for mistakes that they made. They sometimes kill each other, and you yourself, as a member of the audience down there, you react to what they are doing. React by sometimes weeping, sometimes screaming because your I mean your favorite actor is getting killed on the stage. Okay, so you get excited or overly excited with what is happening on the stage. You your energy. Uh, I mean, you use your energy by I mean getting excited and reacted. So when you go out of the stage, you are out of energy, so to speak. You get rid of your excessive emotions of pain, of hatred, of uh, um, even loathing and anger. So when you go home, you're relieved. But this is called catharsis. So you get purged, you get cleansed of your excessive emotions. Okay, but this is called catharsis, and they use it now in different fields. Whenever you are stressed out and you get your anger and frustration out, you get this catharsis so that you you're no longer that stressed out. Okay, what other words do we have? Catharsis. So you're familiar by now with catharsis. Okay, so obviously you're familiar with the rest of the words, which is good news. You're familiar with the word insight and the word escapism. So what is escapism? It's from escape. Escapism is also a psychological phenomenon where you try to fly away from the here and the now. And you fly away because of the here and the now is not that good. So you try to escape into a world of the imagination where there is obviously honey and milk, where there is no issues and problems. And this is something that sometimes literature secures for you, provides. If you read novels, sometimes in order to get away from the hustle and bustle of our life, noisy as it is, you read a novel or a romance where you go far away from the here and the now. But this is escape and this is escapism. And then you have the word insight. Yeah, insight is a sudden awareness of something, a sudden understanding. You get insights when you read something, when you perhaps listen to somebody speak about something. It's about an understanding that just dawned on you. It wasn't there, but perhaps people made it clear to you and then you understood. But this is insight. Yeah, more or less. Hamza is asking whether insight means awareness, and I am saying that they are very close, but not identical, of course. Okay, let's move on. So what do we have on 114? We have explaining specialist terms. As you are aware, every field has its own terms, right? Doctors or physicians, medical doctors have their own terms. You can speak English, but if you have two physicians speak to each other in front of you, you might not understand what they say because they use specialist terms. We call them jargon. Jargon is specialist terms that people of the same profession use together, right? The same applies to engineers. The same applies to lab scientists, right? They use a psychologist in the world of psychology, like the word escapism, like the word catharsis. These are specialist terms. Okay, so in academia and in academic studies, and we're doing academic stuff, and you are sometimes asked to write reports and assignments. So if you're going to use specialist terms that are relevant to the department that you're in, let's say computer studies, you have a lot of computer studies specialist terms that people like me, who is a literature guy, does not or do not really understand. When you say networking, I know, of course, networking, but there are more complicated terms like um, router, routing, right? In the world of business, they have specialist terms and phrases when they say SWOT analysis, when they say opportunity cost, and a lot of other specialist terms. But if they are writing a report of, they are writing an article or a piece of research, they have to use specialist terms. They have to explain them to lay persons like me. Lay persons are people who are not in the field. How do they do that? Let's see. They either start uh, um, and then they have the specialist terms. They can start with the explanation and then the specialist terms, or they start with the specialist term and then the explanation. Let's read that part. This is again 114, skill check 1. When you present research, you will often have to use specialist terms. Your audience probably will not understand these terms. So what is it that you're supposed to do? Like, always explain a term before you use it or after you use it. And we have examples. Let me read the example for you. You have 3 dots, and then the shows are the starting point for communication with other people. In other words, they are the basis for social interaction. Okay, so the basis for interaction and the starting point for communication. So as you can see, these are specialist terms and they are explaining them. And then we have another example. Finally, there is something called educational appeal. Okay, so people wouldn't understand what appeal or what educational appeal means. It is followed by an explanation. So as you can see, educational appeal is a specialist term. So appeal, and this is an explanation here. Appeal in this case means producing interest or involvement. Okay, are you getting the idea? So whenever you have to use a specialist word or term, you need to go out of your way and explain it to your reader or your audience. What word do you mean? Specialist. You mean specialist term? You mean appeal? Okay. So are you getting the idea? Okay. Let's move on. Specialist. And the word specialist, yeah, it's as simple as this. Specialist. Specialist. You mean the word that I used. I used the word jargon. You mean jargon? Yeah, jargon. Yes, jargon. Okay. So again, jargon is specialist vocab and specialist words that people of the same profession use. No problem. Okay. Okay, and then we move to a grammatical phenomenon. And this grammatical phenomenon is meant to kind of give brevity and shortness to what you're saying. This is meant to avoid redundancy. You don't want to be redundant. Redundant means that you're saying things over and over again. You're saying unnecessary things. Unnecessary things in the sense that you're using too many sentences and too many structures to express one single idea. And even within the same sentence, if it's a complex or a compound sentence, you can also shorten the sentence in the interest of clarity and in the interest of smoothness. Languages are about clarity, languages are about brevity and smoothness. So this is 115, and this is skill check 2, omitting items in repeated structures. Omitting means dropping or not using or deleting. We can often omit words in later sentences or clauses about the same topic, and we have an example here. Like, some people use media for understanding themselves. Some people use it for environmental control, and some people use it for emotional release. Have you seen how many some people we have used, right? So obviously, so you keep the original some people, okay, the first one I mean, and then you go to the second some people and perhaps the third some people and drop them. So in this case, you're going to read it this way. Some people use media for understanding themselves. Some, and instead of saying some people, you're going to say only some. Some use it for environmental control. And some, and instead of saying some people use it, you're going to only say some for emotional release. Okay? Is it clear? Can we do that with some of the examples here? I'm sorry. If you move to F, for example, which words can you omit in each sentence without changing the meaning? You have one, B, you have A, B, and C. Can you do them? Some people like quiz shows, and the second one is some teenagers communicate, and then C is some films make you laugh. Yeah, I'll give you perhaps a minute to go through them, and then when you're ready with the omissions, you can read the sentence with and you omit the unnecessary parts. Yalla, go ahead. I'll give you a minute or two, perhaps. Yalla, go ahead. You have them. You can see them. I'll give you a minute. Yani, don't answer yet. Just take your time. If you have the sentences in front of you and you would like to write the whole sentence without those unnecessary subjects or verbs, and go ahead. Write the whole sentence. We have Faisal Muhammad Bamauda. Hi, Faisal. Ali Samir is new. I haven't seen Ali before. And we have the other Ali. Muhammad Al-Omari. Dima. Who else do we have? Dima, are you from Jeddah? Dima Wael. And we have Dania Gaber. Muhammad Salim. Muhammad Salim is not new. We have seen him before. Reem, of course. Shuru, of course. Sumaya. And Thuraya. So Ahmed Sameh, are you from Jeddah? And of course we have Adil Sultan, our friend Dima, Muhammad Al-Omari. Muhammad Al-Omari, are you from Jeddah or I mean, where are you from? I'm sorry. Okay, okay, okay. Can we answer them? Okay, let's do them. So the first one is some people like quiz shows, some people like films, and some people like current affairs programs. So you're going to keep the first some people, right? So some people like quiz shows, some like films, and some current affairs programs, right? The second one, some teenagers communicate mainly by text, some teenagers use instant messaging, and some teenagers use Facebook. So you're going to keep the first some people communicate, right? So you're going to say some teenagers communicate mainly by text, some use instant messages, and some Facebook. The third one, some films make you laugh, some films makes you cry, and some films make you think. So we're going to keep the first some films. So some films make you laugh, some make you cry, and some make you think. Is that clear? Correct? You guys are following, right? Yes. Okay, good. Let's move on. So what do we have here? It's everyday English. This is interesting and easy. And we're concluding the class with this part, by the way. Studying the models. So what I want you to, excuse me. So you have people, you have a table where in one of the columns you have people, on the other you have meeting places. So people would be students, friend, lecturer, journalist, parents, and receptionist. So what is it that he wants us to do? He wants you to complete the conversations with verbs from the box below. You can use a verb more than once. I want you to think about them, and I'll give you perhaps how many exchanges do we have? You know what an exchange is? When two people talk to each other and it's a short conversation, this is called an exchange or a transaction. Okay, so how many transactions or exchanges do we have? Can you see them? How many? So how many exchange? Four or five? Let me count them. One, two, three, four, five, six. They are six, right? So they are six. Yeah, absolutely. So can we fill them with the verbs in the box? Obviously, we have like a square or a box where you have verbs. Can you fill those exchanges with the right verb? And like they say, I mean, you can use the verb more than once, right? Okay, let's take them one at a time. So exchange. 1. So I'd like to ask you something about the assignment. Sure, can you come and me this afternoon? Yes. What time is best? I'm okay. So what are you going to say? Can you come and then I'm a lecture until. So what did you say? Very quickly. Uh, can you come and see me? Yes. Okay. What's the second part? Can you come and see me this afternoon? Yes. What time is best? I'm a lecture. I am what? A lecture? I'm giving. Yeah, I'm giving. Obviously, this guy is a teacher. I'm giving a lecture. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Let's move to the second exchange. Are you free? Some research today? No, I can't. I can't space it. I'm busy all day. So are you free? Are you free what? What did you say? Are you free to do? You, Ahmed Sameh, there is no such thing as make research. You don't make research. You do research. Okay? This is a no-no. This is a bad collocation. Remember last time we spoke about collocations, and collocations are words that are always used and seen together, right? So make and research are never used or seen together. This is something. And also the word research. The word research is not countable. Meaning to say you never use a research before it and you never use s after it. So there is no such thing as a research, and there is no such thing as researches, and there is no such thing as make research. Okay? Yeah. So are you free to do research? To do research, where is that? Yeah, are you free to do research? Some research today? No, I can't. I'm busy all day. So what are you going to say? I can't. Yeah, you're going to use make, but it doesn't refer back to research because we don't use make with. When you say I can't make it, it means that I'm not free. I won't be able to come, right? It's a reference like Muhammad Salim is exactly. It refers to the meeting. Yeah, excellent, Muhammad. Thank you so much for helping me out. Okay, let's move on. Um, so what day is good for you? Can we tomorrow in the library? So can we, what do you think? Can we meet? Absolutely meet. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's move to the third exchange. Can someone here me some advice about fees? Can someone here, what do you think? Give. Yeah, absolutely give. Remember, you can use it more than once. Yes, you need an appointment. You need to, you need to make an appointment. Absolutely. So make an appointment or collocation are a good collocation. They are always seen and used together. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on and on. Okay, 444. You on Monday evening about 7. Then I'll what? What do you think? I'll see you. Yeah, yeah. Both of them are possible. Yeah, I'll see or me. You. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, they are possible. Okay. Yeah. Shall we at the meeting point at the station? Shall we? Shall we? Yes. Meet. Absolutely meet. Yes. Meet. Yeah. Very good. I'll tell you why. يعني there is a logic, a measure of logic to it, by the way. I think I spoke before about the idea of transitivity. Transitivity means that a word has to have an object after. Okay, with meet, well, it depends on the sentence sometimes. So transitive verbs are verbs that have objects after, and intransitive verbs do not have objects or do not necessarily have objects after them. When I say meet, you normally have objects, or and a human object to be more specific, and in this case it's a transitive verb. See, you don't have option, you don't have a, I'm not sure, it depends on the situation actually. But the phenomenon of transitivity can be a good measure here, whether a verb would need a verb after or not. Let's move on. So shall we meet at the meeting point? Yeah, great. I'll be there and don't be late. And the guy is going to say, wait, I won't. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And then we move to the fifth exchange. We can do the interview tomorrow if you like. Yes, that be great. That would be great. Absolutely, that would be great. I'll you at the reception desk at 10 o'clock. I'll meet you. I'll see you. Right? Look forward to you then. This is interesting. Look forward to. No, يا عادل. Whenever you have look forward to, you have to use ing. Whenever you have look forward to, the verb has to be in the ing form. So it's meeting or seeing. Okay? Okay, Muhammad Al-Omari, no problem. Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you next week, next time, inshallah. Remember, we have a class tomorrow and the day after, okay? Okay, yeah. Let's move on. Okay. So are you coming the show tomorrow? Are you coming to, right? Yes, of course. Where are we? Where are we? Perhaps meeting your parents or seeing your parents at the main entrance to the theater at 7. Okay, I'll meet you there just before 7. Yes, that's interesting. طيب. Yeah. With this item and on this note, we come to the end of today's class. I took attendance already. Like I said, please be reminded that I have a class tomorrow and the day after, and both of them are at 2 p.m. Okay, I'll see you, inshallah, whenever. Okay, thank you so much, and it was nice meeting you this noon. I wouldn't say morning because it's not. It's noon already. Yalla, assalamu alaikum everyone. Please keep safe and healthy. Yalla, assalamu alaikum.